Hi, I'm Richard Randall, and welcome to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, the owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. This is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate with Colorado's real estate authority, that is Barb Schlinker. Barb Schlinker is a retired Navy veteran. Barb is an author. Barb Schlinker is also a pilot, and Barb and her team enjoy all that Colorado and the Front Range have to offer. Barb, it is always great to be talking with you. Now, this weekend, we air Your Real Estate Voice every Saturday. If you can't listen to the entire show, it is always available on Barb's site, barbhasthebuyers.com, or search for Barb. You'll find her on most of the popular podcast platforms like iHeartRadio. So, Barb, what are we talking about this weekend?
Well, Richard, I just came back from a conference where we're sharpening our sales skills, and I came back with lots of good information. So I'm excited to share some of the things that I'm bringing back that will help my customers. The first one we're going to talk about is Zillow. So whether you like Zillow or not, they're a major player in the real estate space. Now, they are a tech company. They are not the multiple listing service. They are not a realtor association. They are just a tech company that makes money in the real estate space, but they dominate the real estate space. So I'm going to tell you why you should care, whether or not you're on Zillow, and what it means to you as a homeowner or a home buyer. And then the next topic, I get these questions a lot from my home sellers, which is should you fix up your home for sale when you put your house on the market? And it really depends. Some people are not really in a position to make their house look pretty, and that's okay. We have a solution for you too. It's all about pricing and finding somebody to help you position the home so you get the most money no matter what your strategy is. And then the third topic, near and dear to my heart, what should a realtor do to sell my house in Colorado? So the thing that kind of drives me crazy about this industry, I came from a military background. I was in the Navy. I was an air traffic controller. For one glorious and fun year, I got to be a regional airline pilot. And both of those jobs involve procedures, checklist, how to, what you're supposed to do, what you're not supposed to do. But when I got into real estate, it was just the opposite. There is no job description for a realtor. So people assume it's a generic commodity, and that can't be further from the truth. Not all agents are the same. So we're going to talk about kind of what they do and what I think they should do. And the very last topic is to provide certainty for home sellers. So how you could tell if your house is going to sell for sure. We'll talk about our guaranteed cash offer programs, and there are quite a few. And as always, I love talking about my hot new listings. Richard?
Now, Barb, no one seems to know for sure where interest rates are going to be going. Some people are seeing their home values drop on sites like Zillow's estimate. Are home sellers' values really what Zillow says they are?
Well, you have to put it in perspective. So back in 2021, Zillow was kind of just coming on the scene as being a major player in the real estate space. And at that time, because the interest rates were down at 2.5%, 3%, almost everybody could afford a home if they had an okay credit score. So we were seeing the prices just explode very quickly. And then Zillow decided to get in the game and start making offers and actually buying homes. The problem was they relied on their Zillow Zestimate, which they call a special algorithm that gives an opinion of value. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's too low, sometimes it's too high. Half the time it's missing half the square footage. Half the time it does not have accurate information. So you can't rely on it. But the problem is that they told us at the conference last week that they get 64% of the eyes of buyers' eyes on their website nationwide. That's massive. Everybody else underneath them, which they never mention homes.com because those two are going at it. I think Homes.com probably grabbed some employees from Zillow and they're trying to swipe and deploy what they're doing. But all the other players are way smaller percentage wise. So as a result, most of the buyers are looking at Zillow. Now, part of Zillow, especially when a home goes on the market, you have to scroll down to see it, but it's still going to give their opinion of value. Now, is that what a buyer's going to pay? Not likely, probably not. However, it could hurt you or it could help you. Like sometimes we just put a house on the market last week where their opinion of value was higher than our asking price. So that actually helped quite a bit. We ended up getting a bidding war on that home. So what does Zillow do? Who are they? What do they do? Basically, they're a tech company that created a really good website that outperforms all of the local multiple listing services in the country combined. So the way this whole thing came about, and I was in the business back in the mid 90s, I've been doing it that long, where internet and websites were just kind of a new thing back then. I remember somebody saying, "Oh, you have a website. That's cool." Of course, I didn't know what to do with it, but so at the time, most of the data, so a multiple listing service basically is some form of a database of homes for sale. So back then, they would publish it in a white phone book. Most of the listings in there did not have a picture. They were just the data, just the facts: 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2-car garage, maybe a description, and whoever the contact was, the listing agent, so you could set up a showing. So at that time, most of the buyers had to physically go look at homes to find their home. And on top of that, the real estate agents controlled the inventory. In other words, you'd sit down with an agent, go, "Okay, I want to go look at homes for sale." They decided on which homes you would want to see, not the internet. It's just the opposite now. So Zillow, when they came on scene, they kind of looked around and went, "Oh my God, this is a pathetically antiquated system." And it still is to this day. So all the local little, I call them fiefdoms, 1,500 different multiple listing services, which are basically realtor association clubs, and they hire a tech company to create their website about the listings for sale in that local area. The problem is they're all different software, and of course, the software does not talk to each other. So Realtor.com was the first website to integrate all those $1,500 1,500 multiple listing services and put them online as one website. But Realtor.com's website isn't that great, in my opinion. Some people use it, but it's not my favorite one to search for homes. And so Zillow came on the scene and they looked at this and said, "Wow, we could create a better mousetrap." And they did. So Zillow and Realtor.com got into a lawsuit. Zillow lost. So Zillow had to go and actually reach out to all the local MLSs and all the tax assessors and get as much housing data as they could. They put it online. And basically what they do is they're trying to motivate buyers to raise their hands to say, "I want to see that house." Then they sell that lead, that buyer lead, to real estate agents that pay them for lead opportunities in that zip code. So that's why if you click on a listing in Zillow and say, "I want to see that home," you are not going to get the listing agent. You're going to get some random agent that doesn't know the house. And guess what? The first thing is they're going to do, they're not going to verify that you qualified to buy a house. They're not even going to verify that you're looking for a house like that. They're just going to go, "Okay, when would you like to see it? I'll meet you there." So imagine if you're a seller, right? And you put your house on the market and you're thinking, "Oh, I've got a showing set. This is exciting. I have a buyer that's actually interested in my home, can buy the home, and wants a home like mine." They have no idea. And that's why I joke around and call them overpaid door openers, because they only find out after they've used your house as a marketing opportunity to get face-to-face with a buyer. Then they get in the door, they listen to the buyer's feedback, and if they don't like that house, they'll try to sell them another house. That's really how it works. And Zillow has made billions of dollars doing that. Now, when they got in the game to try to buy homes and offer homes back in 2021, The problem was they were relying on their Zestimate, their algorithm, to make offers. And I remember going and meeting with sellers, and they would say, well, Zillow offered me this much and their fee is only this much. And I looked at them and said, you should take it, because I knew whatever they were getting offered that year in 2021 was more than the market could command. And they went on to lose $1 billion. Now, I don't know about you, but most realtor associations don't have $1 billion to lose. They quit doing that very quickly because they realized they can't stay in business if they're losing $1 billion a year. So that's essentially how it works. Are the values accurate? Probably not. They missed it by $1 billion. And at the end of the day, most people don't trust it. They'll ask me, well, my house on Zillow says it's worth X, but I'm not really sure about that. But what's important is that they have the eyes of 220 million monthly visitors. So it's really, really important that you're on Zillow and you're on the right way. So if you are thinking of making a move, we can help you be on Zillow the right way so that you get the buyer traffic that you need to sell your home for the most amount of money. Just give us a call at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And you can always reach Barb and her team at 719-301-3900. We're talking about Zillow home values and their accuracy or lack thereof. So, Barb, why is it important for home sellers to even be on Zillow?
Well, it's just because they have so many shoppers on Zillow. You're more likely to catch the buyers if you're on Zillow versus not on Zillow. And just so you know, the real estate industry, because there's no standardization, there's no training, 90% of the agents out there quit the business every 5 years. I just got some new stats that 71% of the agents in 2024 sold 0 homes. So that's like more than 2/3 of the agents out there haven't had any sales. So when a seller calls to find out what their home is worth, and they're wondering, is Zillow right, or is what the realtor's saying is right? They don't really know. Most of them don't ask the agent, well, how many homes have you sold? And think about it, Richard. Would you take pricing advice from somebody that says they sell homes that hasn't sold any homes?
That's kind of an easy answer, and that would be no, no, and no.
No. So basically it's very, very important to be on those websites so that, because nowadays, instead of us using the MLS book or using information from the local MLSs, people are going on those tech company websites, and there's thousands of homes on there. It's easy to get lost in the sea of data, but I can tell you the way we market on Zillow, our company gets 140% more page views, 127% more saves, and 157% more shares. And one of the things that they do is they'll email out your listing. They can typically find over 1,000 buyers that are a high match for your home, and they're emailing it right out to them saying, hey, look at this one. And they have a massive open rate. So you want to not just be on there, but the marketing has to be right for you to be on there right. So if you are thinking of making a move, give us a call, 719-301-3900, or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. If you are thinking of making a move, call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll be discussing, should you fix up your home for sale here in Colorado?